Hello everybody, I'm Victoria and today I've got my TBR for Tome Topple. So what's Tome Topple? It is a readathon dedicated to big books. We're talking tomes here, books over 500 pages. It is run by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and there's also a Goodreads group for it. As always, I'll put links down in the description. This also has several challenges, which I'll talk about as we go through, but you don't have to do any of the challenges. You can just ignore them. There's also no amount of books that you must read. You just have to read books that are over 500 pages. So let's dive right in with my first one. And that is The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. So this is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty series. I am very close to finishing the first one, like less than 50 pages away. And so I thought this would be perfect to pick this up. I'm not gonna lie, I actually already own this in ebook. I got it for super cheap for like $2 or $3 on a random sale on Amazon. But I convinced myself that I needed the physical copy as well because I knew that I was gonna run into some walls. I don't get along very well with big books. I feel like I'm not making any progress, and I know if I just had the ebook, I would definitely feel like I was not progressing at all. So I decided to pick up the physical book because I love being able to flip through pages and see how much more I have to read versus how much I already have read. And I know I wouldn't get that same satisfaction from an ebook. At least that's what I'm telling myself and justifying this purchase. But I also think it's gonna look great on my shelves because this is a big book. The ebook, and I believe the hardcover, is listed at 880 pages, which is crazy pants for me, but this softcover edition says 852, but I'm gonna go with 880 because that number is bigger, and I am reading the ebook, which is listed at 880. Moving on, we have Guns of the Dawn by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is an adult fantasy book. It is a standalone, which is a rarity, and it also features a female protagonist. As far as I understand, we are in a fantasy world that is sort of reminiscent of perhaps Regency England. We are following Gentile Emily, who is kind of part of the nobility, not the upper nobility, sort of the lower nobility. And a neighboring country that these people have always been friends with, there's a revolution that occurs, there's radicals that take over, and they decide to take that revolution to all the surrounding countries. And so there's a war between Emily's country and the previously friendly neighboring country. All the men are conscripted into military service, and unfortunately the fight lasts so long that the government is forced to conscript females. So each household is required to provide one female for the military. Instead of sending a servant, Emily decides to volunteer herself, and this is her story of going from that genteel aristocracy to a soldier. I think this sounds amazing and has so many things that I want. It's a standalone fantasy with a female protagonist who's learning how to fight. I believe there's also maybe a little bit of romance in here. So I'm excited to see this. There are 658 pages in this, so it's pretty chunky, but if you notice, the font is pretty large, so I don't think I'm gonna have trouble getting into this one. I'm actually excited about it. So let's back up and talk a little bit about the different challenges that we have. The first is to read more than one tome, and so I have, boom, both my books, The Wall of Storms and The Guns of Dawn. So I think that that definitely counts. The next is to read a book in a series. That is this one. It is a second in a series, and obviously I already read the first one. And then the next challenge is to buddy read a book. I haven't seen anyone on the Goodreads forum indicating that they are reading these books, so I don't think that that is likely to happen. But if you plan on reading these, let me know and maybe we can buddy read those. Moving on, the next challenge is to read an adult book, so not a YA or middle grade. These are both adult books. And then last but not least, we have the challenge of reading a graphic novel over 500 pages. So this is kind of a challenge because there aren't that many, but you are allowed to include omnibus editions that gather several different books in the series together into one. And so I was fortunate enough to see this and thought this would be perfect for this challenge. And so we have March by John Lewis, Andrew Iden, and Nate Powell. So this tells the story of John Lewis during the Civil Rights Movement and his impact in it and his experience during that tumultuous time. I've long wanted to pick this up, and then when I saw this edition online, I was like, oh, this will be perfect It is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I checked to see the page numbers. It said that it was like over 500 pages, and it was actually cheaper than if I bought the volumes individually. This is a 3-part series. And so I thought, this is wonderful, this is fantastic. And then I got it, and it's not a bind up, it's not an omnibus. No, it's a slip case. So I don't know if this counts or not. I think technically it doesn't, but I really wanted to. So I don't know. I will say that this edition is absolutely gorgeous. This is very, very solid. And this illustration is beautiful. You've got the bridge at Selma, and reflecting down, you see the reflection of the Lincoln Monument, Lincoln Memorial, and then the side, gorgeous, beautiful gradient, even the tops and the bottoms of this, and it's absolutely solid. So I am glad that I picked this up because, again, like I said, I've wanted to read this for quite a while. I think I'm going to cheat and read it anyway. So there you have it. That is my TBR for the book. What is this? Tome Topple. Oh, I've been saying Booktubeathon for so long, I forgot that it's Tome Topple now. So that's my TBR for the Tome Topple. Are you guys doing Tome Topple? What are you reading? Do you think I am a dirty, dirty cheater for choosing this one? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye.